Utah is the second driest state in the U.S., a place where the sun beats down on vast stretches of arid land and water is always in short supply. Here, every drop of water counts, and conservation is a way of life for many families and communities. For centuries, both people and wildlife have adapted to survive with little water. But today, the Great Salt Lake, once a symbol of abundance in the desert, is vanishing before our eyes. This isn't just a local problem, it's a warning sign for us all, a glimpse into a future where water scarcity could become the new normal. Utah's water comes mostly from the snow that blankets the Wasatch Mountains each winter, melting slowly to feed the rivers, cities, and farms below. But climate change is causing that snow to melt faster and fall less often, while a booming population puts even more pressure on this delicate balance. Less snow falls, more people arrive, and water demand skyrockets. The challenge grows with every new resident and every dry winter. The Great Salt Lake is shrinking at an alarming rate, exposing more desert floor and sending dust storms across the region, threatening the entire ecosystem and public health. As the lake recedes, it's a giant red flag. Our water system is dangerously out of balance and the consequences are becoming impossible to ignore. Desertification is accelerating, turning what was once a unique and vibrant ecosystem into a barren wasteland, with plants and animals struggling to survive. This crisis is a stark lesson in how quickly things can change when we misuse our most precious resource, water. The land remembers every drop lost. Understanding Utah's water crisis is the first step to fixing it. Only by working together, learning from the past and making tough choices can we hope to restore balance and secure a future for generations to come. The Great Salt Lake is more than a body of water. It's the largest saltwater lake in the Western Hemisphere. For indigenous tribes, it's sacred, woven into their history and identity. The lake is a lifeline for millions of migratory birds, providing food and rest on their journeys. Its brine, shrimp, and flies are essential for these birds' survival. Economically, the lake generates over $1 billion a year, supporting thousands of jobs in mineral extraction and brine shrimp harvesting. It even shapes local weather, boosting snowfall for Utah's ski resorts. The Great Salt Lake is vital to Utah's culture, economy, and environment. Losing it would mean losing an irreplaceable resource. Its value cannot be overstated. The Great Salt Lake is shrinking at a shocking rate, and the speed of its decline has alarmed scientists and residents alike. Once a vast, shimmering expanse, the lake is now a shadow of its former self, with water levels dropping year after year. In the 1980s, it covered over 3,000 square miles. It was a defining feature of Utah's landscape, supporting wildlife, recreation, and local economies. By 2021, the lake had shrunk to just 950 square miles, a dramatic loss in only a few decades, and the lowest level ever recorded in its history. Today, some parts are only 40% full, exposing vast stretches of dry, cracked earth where water once shimmered under the sun. Scientists warn the lake could vanish within years if these trends continue, raising urgent concerns about the future of the region. As water recedes, over 1,000 square miles of lakebed are exposed, a stark reminder of what's been lost, and a warning of what could come. The shrinking lake isn't just an eyesore, it's changing the chemistry of the water, making it saltier and more inhospitable to life. Salt levels are rising, threatening brine shrimp and flies, the base of the food web that supports countless other species. If these tiny creatures disappear, millions of migratory birds that rely on them for food during their long journeys will be left with nothing to eat. The entire ecosystem is on the brink of collapse, with each loss rippling outward to affect more species and habitats. The crisis is visible in the receding shoreline, abandoned boats, and dying wildlife, clear signs that the lake's health is in jeopardy. The lake's lifeblood, water from rivers and streams, is draining away faster than it can be replaced, leaving the future of the Great Salt Lake hanging in the balance. Why is the lake drying up? What's behind this dramatic transformation of one of Utah's most iconic landscapes? There are two main reasons: human water use and climate change. Both are working together to push the Great Salt Lake to the brink. For decades, we've diverted water from the Bear, Weber, and Jordan rivers for farms, cities, and industry. These diversions have steadily reduced the amount of fresh water reaching the lake year after year. As Utah's population has soared, so has water demand, leaving less for the lake. New neighborhoods, businesses, and recreational spaces all need water, putting even more pressure on limited supplies. The lake gets only what's left over, which is less every year. As a result, the shoreline keeps shrinking, and the exposed lakebed grows. On top of that, climate change has brought a historic mega-drought, the driest in over 1,200 years. Hotter temperatures mean more evaporation and less water in rivers and reservoirs. Less snow falls in the mountains and more precipitation comes as rain, which runs off too quickly to be stored. The snow that does fall melts earlier, leaving rivers dry by late summer. Snowpack used to melt slowly, feeding rivers and the lake throughout the year. Now, water supply is unreliable and unpredictable. The shift from snow to rain means less water reaches the lake, and the landscape dries out faster than ever before. The result? A thirsty lake, shrinking shorelines, and a region running out of options to reverse the trend. Human activity and climate are draining the Great Salt Lake, threatening wildlife, local economies, and the very identity of the region. The crisis is urgent and growing. If we don't act soon, the consequences for Utah and the West could be severe and long-lasting. As the lake shrinks, it exposes a toxic secret. The dry lakebed is laced with heavy metals from centuries of runoff. When covered by water, these toxins were trapped. Now they're exposed to the air. Wind turns the dried mud into dust, carrying dangerous particles into nearby communities. This dust contains lead, copper, and other harmful metals, a public health hazard. Breathing it can cause respiratory and heart problems, especially in children. The more the lakebed is exposed, the greater the risk. The environmental crisis is now a health crisis. Toxic dust storms are now a reality for Utah's communities. Walls of dust sweep across the valley, forcing residents indoors and triggering health alerts. The dust seeps into homes, covers playgrounds, and contaminates farmland. Doctors warn of rising respiratory illnesses and heart problems, especially for children and the elderly. The beautiful landscape is now a source of danger. For many, the crisis is personal, measured in hospital visits and daily anxiety. The cost of the shrinking lake is paid in public health. Despite the crisis, hope remains for the Great Salt Lake. Record snowfall in recent winters brought temporary relief, raising water levels slightly. In 2025, Utah transferred 23 billion gallons of water from Utah Lake to the Great Salt Lake, a major step. The state has committed over $1 billion to water conservation, focusing on agriculture and efficient water use. New policies and technologies are helping farmers and residents save water. Regional partnerships like the Southwest Sustainability Innovation Engine unite experts to find solutions. Saving the lake requires teamwork and smart choices from everyone. The fight is tough, but optimism is growing. If we act now, the Great Salt Lake can survive for future generations. The time to act is now.